runs yesterday, but they just weren't coming in. Well, nothing worth the mileage. I think it's because it was the first Monday after Christmas. Probably a lot of people traveling. But for whatever the reason, the runs just weren't coming in. And today might be a little better. Yeah, there you go. I didn't think that guy was going to wait his turn to merge there. Had a guy back there trying to merge. He was being a little impatient. It's one of those merge points where the merge lane is nice and long, so you can get up to speed first, but people seem compelled to just shoot right over as soon as they get out into it. They dart in front of people who are already at speed, forcing everybody to slam on their brakes. That guy, however, decided to wait. Probably cursing me now because he was back there about 4 car lengths and he got caught by the light behind me. Well, I know it's not cold like it is out in the mountains, but I think it's true what they say, that your bones get used to the warm weather after a while, and as soon as you get a cold snap, you really feel it, and I do. Now, I'm wearing a vest without sleeves, but that's so I can work a little easier, but still, 36 degrees. Well, it's 38 now in the sun. Shouldn't feel as cold as it does. Man, when I was in my 20s, I'd be out all day. I had a Carhartt overalls and short jacket so that my arms could move around freely, and I'd be out splitting wood. When I didn't have a power splitter, I was doing it with a wood mow all day. It'd be like 20 degrees or lower sometimes. Or one time, my dad was helping me. We had a couple of saws. We went out on the mountaintop outside of town, and we were cutting up cherry firewood. The lumber company would leave the tops in the woods and take the poles back to sell as lumber. So we'd get permission from the landowner, and it was usually for trade. We would cut up the wood, and for every couple that we took out of the woods, we would take as much as we wanted to the house, at least one for every 2, which is a good deal. But on cold days, I remember that one day that I took Dad with me, and I had my older boys with me too, because I had a super cab, and they would just sit and play games and stuff. They would sit inside the truck and leave it running. And man, it was cold. It was below 0. I remember that. And we'd work outside for a little while with gloves, 2 pairs of gloves, 1 pair of gloves underneath, work gloves on the outside. And you would get so bitter cold, we'd have to come inside and sit in the truck with the kids. They always had snacks too, and I'd bring hot chocolate for them. With Dad, we'd sit and drink coffee for 10 or 15 minutes, and then go back outside and try again. I know that I probably wouldn't be able to stand that now. That's too cold. Garbage truck way down there in line now. He didn't get into this merge point on time. Looked like he wanted to, but he wasn't paying attention. And then he merged right here in this wide spot that's not meant for that, right there. Cut over in front of a little car, forced him to slam on the brakes. People are idiots. Get the wrong people behind the wheel of these big trucks. They get entitled because the thing is so big. I think the radio stations finally gave up on playing the Christmas music. I remember a time when they used to try to play it all the way through New Year's. Must have stopped Sunday. I mean, I'm all about the holiday season as well, but, you know, when Christmas is over, Christmas is over. I say that as we still have to take down the Christmas decorations inside of our house. Honestly, I thought maybe the kids would like to see it one last time. So, since New Year's Eve is in the middle of the week, maybe we'll just do that New Year's Day. You know, New Year's Eve I'm not going anywhere. Too many stories of bad things happen on New Year's Eve. There's fun places you can go too, I would imagine. But I'd want to go someplace and park and then just get an Uber at the end of the night. And it'd be worth the wait, because you don't want to drive after you've been in someplace having a spirit, celebrating. Still got to clean this windshield. It's not terrible. Mostly just from the dust that blows around, because it hasn't rained in a while. My computer was yelling at me again last night when I was editing, telling me that I have too much on my computer, that I got to move some of my stuff because the storage is getting full. Well, that just proves that I take a lot of video, and since I publish everything at 4K, the ones that I produce are a lot big. That's okay. I got someplace to store it. Maybe I should do that instead. Side hustle brewing. They say when you're trying to save money, always pick one thing that is your can't compromise on, but still within reason. I think for us it's going to be coffee, because for the first time in a long time we went back to the store brand coffee. It's not okay. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not like really good coffee ground from good beans. I got spoiled on coffee when I was in my 20s, because I was working a lot of jobs where you'd be working graveyard shift, and so the only thing available that time of night was usually coffee, and I got to like good quality coffee, not a can of sawdust. Like, there's some coffee brands that are just terrible. One of them starts with chock full of. It's not nuts, and it doesn't taste nutty at all. And I'm sure there are some people that like it, but I can't drink that. I can't do it. I mean, I would rather drink Maxwell House, and I don't like Maxwell House. I don't like Folgers very much either, unless it's made strong or unless it's like a dark roast Folgers. I'm partial to 8 o'clock coffee. Their French roast is good. I'm partial to Pike's Place, which is actually a Starbucks brand. It's their discount brand, but it's still Starbucks coffee. It's really good. I like Starbucks coffee in bean form so I can grind it myself. It's just I can't justify, spending $23 for a bag of coffee that's not even 3 pounds anymore. They used to be 3-pound bags. Now I think they're 28 ounces, something like that. Priced for our convenience. The company started doing that around 2001, and the first recession that I really felt the impact of as an adult. And so you can't get 3 pounds coffee. You can't get 1 pound coffee cans anymore. At most, I think they're 12-ounce cans. Oh well. You can't get ice cream in half gallons anymore either. I think Bluebell does. I don't know if they have Bluebell everywhere, but they do here in the South. It's really good ice cream. It's high in milk fat. It's good. I think that is still half gallon. And they don't apologize for the cost of their ice cream either, because it's pretty good when I do have ice cream. I splurged about 2.5, 3 weeks ago on the first bowl of ice cream that I had in a while. And it wasn't Bluebell, and I probably shouldn't have eaten it, because it wasn't worth the calories. This is going to be one of the heavier things that I've hauled lately. Looks like it's a pretty good amount of lumber that's going to probably a build site in a new development, or an existing development with a new house. But it looks like a lot of lumber. That is heavier than it looks. Put this bag inside the truck. Boy, it feels colder than what it is. And you're outside in the shade. Air's dry. Goes through to your bones. tailgate warning me that it can't see backwards. All right, where are we going? Oh, I know. This is that place where it's hit and miss whether or not they make people like me pay at the gate. I'm going to guess because I'm not hauling something fun like TV or furniture for somebody, they're going to make me pay. 18 bucks. Doesn't matter how many times you go in that day, 18 bucks. Because I've got a camera above the rear stoplight. I can look down in the bed once in a while and check on my cargo. I got through there without having to pay again. Must be leftover Christmas spirit. Now, if I was driving a commercial truck, I'm sure they'd make me pay. I don't feel so bad about my Christmas decorations still being up. There's a lot of houses that still have Christmas decorations. A lot. I don't think I've ever been back this road. And that's probably why. It's not a through street. Where they want it. There's where 24 2x6 ground contact treated lumber. And treated lumber is always heavier. I think I'm still a little bit uncured too because I got a little pine sap on my finger from one of the knots on it. Pick up another one on the way out of here so I don't have to deadhead back off the island again. I was talking to the recipient there who was staying at his in-laws' house there, and he said that he's my age. He said that they've got a daughter that's currently living in Fairbanks, Alaska. And I'm sure that they would not complain about the temperatures here at all. The wife had said that their daughter said that it was 40 below right there right now. And she works outside a lot. I said, I do not envy her. I said, the closest I would come to being in Alaska is probably watching people that live in Alaska, because although I could probably do it, I don't want to. I'll just watch other people that do. We started watching these homesteaders that are living off grid, and I think they had like 80 some subscribers on their YouTube channel. We've been watching them, well, since almost the beginning. But they moved from upstate Wisconsin to interior Alaska in a truck camper. And then they built an A-frame house before the winter. The neighbors pitched in and helped them get it built before it snowed, because I honestly don't think they would have made it through the winter. And now they have a baby, and they have another one on the way. And they document everything they do. I'll put a link to it in the description. I don't have any affiliation with them. I just think they're very entertaining. And I think you'd enjoy their content too. If you're watching stuff like this, just somebody doing side hustle, or if you watch my other channel, Project Pappy Jack, and watch people working on stuff and getting things done, I think that you would appreciate their channel too. And if you're not signed up for Project Pappy Jack, go sign up for that. Take a look at some of those videos. I've got gardening stuff on there. I'm obsessed with my lawn, so there's lawn mowing stuff on there. I just mowed my lawn like a week and a half ago, by the way, in December. You should go check it out. Winter or not, I mowed my lawn. I've got projects where I fix stuff around the house. Simple things like I changed the oil in this truck, changed the oil in my wife's car. I replaced a taillight bulb in this truck the other day. Things that sound simple, but if you've never done it before, it's entertaining watching somebody fumble through it. I figured it out. There, I got one. Groceries it is. I haven't been to this store in a while. They have really nice produce. Get started in here. Let's get it started in here. Where's the carts? They're all out here. Got all confused for a minute, couldn't remember where I parked. Had to bounce around the store for that one. Let's see where I'm going. Some of these store layouts are a little weird. Most of them are, you come into the store on the right hand side and they wrap around by starting the produce on that side. Produce, deli, meat departments in the back on that side. And then dry goods, and then bread, soda, frozen, dairy. At some stores, they mix them up a little bit. I think just to keep people like me on my toes. You gotta go hunting. The app also makes reference to specific shelf locations, and a lot of times they're not there at all. They're on a different shelf spot. They might be in the same aisle, but they're on a different shelf. Lots and lots of traffic circles around here. Lots. A couple of years ago, I was coming the other way on this street. Right after a white SUV had just hit a guy crossing the street in the dark. The guy wasn't using a crosswalk or anything and was in a really dark area of the street. The white SUV didn't see him. Witnesses said that he had flipped up in the air, so he must have got hit pretty hard. He was out, face down. And we rolled up behind the car that hit him, pulled over, and got out real quick to offer some assistance. I won't get too graphic, but he was going to need to see a dentist after that. One of the passers-by grabbed a beach towel that she had on her to keep his face clean so we could see where his injuries were until the ambulance got there. And you know, he lived and everything, but he was going to be hurting for a while. And the sad thing about those kind of accidents is, I don't know if the guy that got hit was under the influence or anything, but the couple that hit him were obviously shaken. Unfortunately, the way insurance works is they're going to get a citation for hitting a pedestrian regardless of whether or not he was crossing at the correct location. So their insurance is going to get hit for it because he crossed in the wrong spot. Now, I'm not defending the driver because they probably should have seen him, and I don't know what speed they were going. But witnesses say the force of the impact, I mean, if the guy flew up in the air before he came back down again and landed, they may not have been going the speed limit. I don't know. I didn't see that part. So either way, I'm not accusing anybody of wrongdoing because I wasn't there to see it. I just saw what happened after. Had I been able to get across all that traffic waiting to turn left in the traffic circle, I would have gone through the parking lot that's on the other side of the street. I could have shortcutted to get over here. So I got my wish by getting a run that got me paid to go back the other way again. And I know it flashes across the screen and everything, but do me a favor. If you like this content, like and click the subscribe button and click the notification bell, because when I publish these, then you'll get notified every time. That way you don't miss any of the content. If you'd like to see something or you have questions about what it is that I'm doing, put it in the comments. I'll be glad to answer your questions. Maybe side hustle's a thing you're interested in. I do this when I can because, you know, it beats not being productive, so I do this. Maybe it's something for you. Since I can't really mow my grass anymore this winter and I can't plant anything, well, in the ground anyway, I'm doing stuff to keep myself busy. It's a beautiful day. Nice view from up here on this bridge. Temperature started to get a little warmer. It's up to 44 degrees now. Doesn't feel quite as bitter anymore. Just took the wrong order to the door. The app caught me though, because it makes you scan an item. So, the customer got the correct neighborhood. Has a lot of speed bumps, big humps, which is fine because it looks like there's a lot of kids that live in this neighborhood. I wish ours did. They used to have the this kind of speed bumps like you can buy at Tractor Supply, you know. They're not very hardy and they're not very tall. So people would just fly over them. They eventually just got broken and then they were removed. They eventually just got broken and then they were removed by the HOA. But if we had paved speed humps, I think people would slow down a little more. And I live all the way at the back of our development, which isn't very big. It's only 120 houses, maybe. And I see people flying through the front of the neighborhood to get to where they live at the back. The HOA puts out notices now and then reminding people to slow down because the speed limit's 15 miles an hour anyway, and there's signs everywhere indicating that. But people don't pay attention. Here's another neighborhood that got Christmas stuff out, so I don't feel bad. Auto parts, I'm getting auto parts. Sorry. It's my cartoon mind. I think of the cadence of some words, and it sounds like music to me. And so the song pops in my head that I know that matches that cadence. I'm sure there's a word for that. Silly. That's the word. My wife's always telling me that I'm always messing up the words to songs, and she doesn't say it lovingly. I think it's because my words stick in her head every time she hears that song from there going forward. It helps to pass the time. Must be garbage day. I didn't realize there's that many houses back there. 3 garbage cans, 3 recycle cans. I can tell you that it's probably expensive to live back there because that's on a peninsula that sticks out into deep water off the island. I make reference to islands a lot. If you haven't been able to figure it out yet, this is the greater low country area around Hilton Head. It's very sprawling. I mean, it's concentrated in parts, but most of it is very sprawling, and the roads are long between each population pocket. This island that I'm going across right now, that I'm currently leaving, is Lemon Island, which is a preserve. But there was some private property on it before the county bought it and turned it into a preserve. So the county grandfathered in the private owners. Didn't force them to sell. But I don't think you're allowed to build anything new there that wasn't already in a private lot. Before these bridges were built, the only way that you could get back and forth between each side was to either drive way inland up to where the peninsula connects again to shorter bridges, or take the ferry across from one side to the other. And this is an island between 2 waterways. So you'd have to take one ferry to get across this part. So you'd have to really want to get over to the other side. Fortunately for us, there's bridges. Just picked that up. Little bitty box auto parts store. The guy at the counter come chasing me out, told me he gave me the wrong copy of the receipt. So he seemed pretty relieved that he caught me before I drove away. Don't want to get the guy in trouble. All right, now we're headed across the same island that I was talking about, down to Hilton Head Island. They must not have been able to get this auto part where they were, because there's plenty of auto part stores down there. I don't think the person in front of me knows where they're going. The guy behind me was honking his horn. Must have been impatient. And if I remember correctly, I don't want to drive over that metal plate because it bends in the middle. I'm a big heavy truck. I know that it's safe and all, and it's a piece of half-inch steel or whatever it is. But when I see stuff like that, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie's Final Destination, but I don't want that to be me. Of course, the way that the movie works is if you see your final destination, you're precognizant of it, it's going to catch up to you and get you anyway. Because the entire movie is people that were precognizant of something that's going to happen to them, something bad, ending in their expiration, and then it just catches up to them anyway. So the whole point is that you can't escape your expiration date, regardless of what it is. It's going to get you anyway. So, should I be worried? Well, the drive down here takes about 50 minutes. On paper, on a map, it doesn't look like it's that far, but you can't drive straight to it. If I could, I would take a left down this road and just go across, but there's no bridge there. Because at the end of this peninsula, to the left, is Paris Island. Marine base. Mostly basic training. But it's directly across. There's just no bridge. Occasionally, I'll get a delivery done. And I don't have anything against delivering stuff to people on the base. It just takes a lot longer because when you do a delivery, you have to stop, pull off. You have to open up every door, every compartment in your vehicle. And they have to look under and through everything, which is fine. I'm okay with that for security. But it does add an extra 20 minutes onto every run. Plus, the road to get down in there, well, on any base really, the gate is pretty far away from where you got to go. On purpose, because you don't want bad guys getting any further than the gate. When you do get down there, though, to wherever you're going on a base, the people who receive this stuff are usually very happy to receive it because they know what a pain it is for non-enlisted people to get in and out of the base. Even enlisted people, I mean, you still have to check in, go through the gate. But they seem very appreciative of somebody willing to just bring them what they want. A lot of people do grocery delivery to those bases because for the spouse that might not be enlisted, they're taking care of the household. They're on a base that's pretty isolated away from everybody and everything. And so they order their food to be brought in. A lot of times there's kids in the household, so we all have kids, so we know what an ordeal it is to wrap everything up, get in the car, and go a long way. But they might not even have an extra car. So they're always full of smiles when you roll up to the door, or as close as you can get to wherever they are with cargo. Occasionally I'll get orders to their local BX, their local on-site store, because they'll order things in bulk from big stores like Sam's or Home Depot or Lowe's, something that they resell on the base. So they'll order it in bulk by the pallet, and then have somebody like me deliver it to them. Then for that, I have to show up to a loading dock and contact their local people. Then I have to get cleared with the pallet before they'll accept the receipt, because if it is palletized, they want to look in the pallet and make sure that everything's safe. So that can take a little longer too. And temperature's up to 48. Holy crap, I just had a mini panic attack. For some reason, I thought that I left the auto part on my tailgate before I left. But I didn't. It's in the seat next to me. Whew. That would have sucked. I've never done that, so we're good. But wow, you go, what? Oh, there it is. That drop-off went okay. I'm glad it wasn't a gated neighborhood. Just took a while to get down here to the island because traffic was very heavy. Don't know why. No accidents or anything. Never really realized how many apartment buildings there are on Hilton Head Island. And a lot of people live down here. A lot of the support employees that work for the resorts and stuff live down in these apartments. When I would do ride share, I'd take a lot of them back and forth from the restaurants or the resorts back to these apartment complexes. And I don't do ride share anymore because the expense of a third vehicle didn't justify it. But I can still do stuff like this because I can use it to haul things. Trying to see what these cars ahead of me are doing. There's no acceleration lane here, so you gotta wait for all the cars to pass. Or wait for the light to change. We had to wait for the light to change. This guy behind me is in a pretty big hurry. Couldn't wait for me to get around this vehicle. Must have something really important to do. Right? And he was right up on me. He's right up on that car in front of him, too. I don't know what he thinks is going to happen when he rides through somebody's bumper. Because he really didn't get any further ahead anyway, did he? A couple of my cousins, when we all first started driving, because we were all about the same age, they used to joke because their older brothers would call that drafting. They're big NASCAR fans. Riding somebody's bumper like that in traffic. It's not safe. I don't recommend it. And I don't think that drafting a small car with a big truck would make too much of a difference anyway. Mythbusters did a whole episode about that. It actually is a thing, and they proved that it is less wind resistance and could get you higher mileage, but you would have to be like this close to the back of a semi-trailer in order to cut all the drag. And at highway speeds, I don't think that this is safe. Just saying. Wow, there's a lot of traffic coming off the island still. I don't think there are any events down here this week. Maybe it's all just people going home after the holiday. I don't see very many out-of-state plates, though. Wonder what's going on. There were no incidents coming this way when I came onto the island. Traffic's still semi-heavy on the other side there. I don't know what's going on. Gotta remember to take my quarter with me so I can get my shopping cart, because I'm going to Aldi. And grab boxes off the shelf as I go to carry all the groceries. So I don't have to buy bags for a quarter apiece. Or whatever they are now. I wonder what Aldi coffee tastes like. I never had Aldi coffee. I wonder if it's any better than the other store brands. I mean, Aldi and Trader Joe's are owned by the same company, and they source pretty good food. Maybe I'll give it a try. I will, and I'll report back and let you know. Because I noticed that this coffee I'm drinking, this store brand coffee, its taste changes over time. Like, I always drink iced coffee, so I pour ice in my insulated mug, and I put my flavor and sweetener on it. I use stevia. And then I pour the coffee over top the ice, so it's iced coffee. And it tastes, when I first did it this morning, it tastes pretty much like the coffee smells, which is correct. But as it sits in my cup, it starts to get a bitterness to it. And it shouldn't, because it's not exposed to air or anything. It's in the cup with the lid. It just gets like a bitterness to it. I don't like it. Coffee beans, when they're exposed, after you grind coffee beans, when the oil in the coffee bean is exposed to air, it oxidizes, and that's what makes that bitter taste. Plus, there's a little white plenum between each sides of the bean. If you ever want to see what it looks like, just take a coffee bean and smash it with a spoon, and you'll see a little white sliver that's between the lobes of the bean. That's where the bitterness comes from, aside from the oxidation of the coffee, or the oil in the coffee bean anyway. So since it's already been ground, and it didn't taste as bitter when I first brewed it, I'm wondering what makes it taste so bitter afterwards. Maybe maybe that lower grade of bean has more of a bitter taste from that plenum that's in the middle of that bean. Anybody that knows anything about coffee is going to be saying, well, duh, it's a lower grade of coffee, so it's going to taste worse. So, I know what I like and I don't like, but I'm not a coffee aficionado. I like coffee like I like bourbon. And there's studies that show that people's taste buds that are tuned to both of those things are basically that you're looking for the same taste. It's kind of like a smoky, nutty taste that you're looking for, and not bitterness. Everybody's going to Aldi today. Guess these parking spots are skinny, and I don't want somebody to door my truck. Don't want to be that guy too close to the line. That was a big order. Heavy too. Oh, and it was upstairs in an apartment complex. Maybe I can pick up one on the way back when I get closer to some other stores. It's not winded. These speed bumps are very tall. Good, because there's probably kids here anyway. Afternoon sun, won't you come and shine straight in my eyes? Afternoon sun, won't you come? Won't you come? This is my song.